Sounds good.
All right, so first of all, 3 games into the season, tell me what's your biggest takeaway of everything you've seen so far?
Really so far this year, I love our kids and our attitude that they have. They work hard, they're determined, they try to give it their best. So we have to, make some changes around here to the standards that we want to have going forward with our program. And we see a lot of buy-in from that. And that's been the best thing for me is understanding that these kids are in a rough spot, especially these seniors, third head coach in 4 years. But they're buying and they believe and they trust each other and they trust our staff. So that's been the best thing so far.
When you look, obviously facing a very tough Elias team last week, offensively, what did you kind of see that maybe you want to change going into this week to kind of get those points on the board?
Oh, now we're unfrozen. Sorry.
There we go. Yeah, I'll go ahead and repeat. Obviously, a tough Elias
Thanks.
team last week. Offensively, what do you want to see that maybe to change to kind of get those points on the boards? What did you kind of see last week?
Number one, we had to finish drives, take care of the football. That was our biggest problem. Too many turnovers, uh, almost like a repeat of week one. So really making sure we correct those things this week again and finishing drives. It starts with the guys up front. We got to be able to run the ball effectively, give our guys time to pass. So fix some things all across the board. But, no matter what, finish the game, finish the play, finish the drive, and make sure we have 11 guys doing the right things.
Well, a week that you really saw that offense light up was, against Cap City. It seemed like that was a thriller of a game. What did you like, that you saw offensively from your group in that one?
Offensively, that game was, phenomenal for us, offense, defense, both teams, and make sure we're all making plays. But offensively, really was putting the ball in the end zone, going to finish drives. That was the biggest thing for us. We still had one drive that we didn't really finish that I wish we would have. But making sure, man, we got 11 guys on the field pushing for the same common goal. I think that's the biggest thing. Sometimes for us, we're going to have a great play, but, that's why football is the ultimate team sport. If one guy does something wrong, it's not as big as we want it to be. So really just, guys playing together, finishing drives, making great catches. DeQuell Wright had a phenomenal catch that we saw across the board. Alex threw a good ball. He kind of did a lot better job passing that game than we had seen previously. So it was really good for us. Now just coming out, bringing together pieces of all these 3 games and make sure we finish and put a good product on the field Friday night.
Well, you mentioned him. What kind of growth have you seen from Alex, just from the start to now when you took over?
For Alex, it's constant improvement from that kid. He works hard, great leadership. So really seeing him kind of push and push and push and get himself better. One thing you have to realize with Alex, not a lot of JV quarterback reps, playing tight end last year, playing other positions, a little bit quarterback his freshman sophomore year, but not a lot last year at all. So really the speed's not faster, it's just a different position. So really for him trying to see that and understand the right reads. And he's done a phenomenal job when you look at the hindsight of Alex of holistically where he's been at, what he's been doing. He's doing a great job for us.
Well, last week, the first game back at Battle for you, how was it bringing that tradition back? Well, I saw you guys walking down the ramp. That was cool stuff.
That was one of the first things we said. I have a coach on staff here, and we talked about traditions, and that's the first thing he asked. He goes, "Hey, are we coming down?" I said, "We're coming up from top. We ready to get me on?" I've already talked to Beaner, our counselor that kind of runs our music and stuff, and he already has it ready. He goes, "Okay, awesome." Like we kind of know like that's kind of what we built ourselves on. One of our traditions. It's been phenomenal to be back at Battle High School. There's a lot of support in this community for me, for this team. Get chills talking about it and thinking about it. Honestly, getting back on that field Friday night, I turned to one of our coaching staffs, one of my best friends, and I was like, "This is where I'm meant to be. This is home." So it was pretty phenomenal for myself. But now it's making sure we get a win and our kids feel that win and all that hard work paying off. And it'll be great if we can get that Friday night at homecoming.
Well, what a game to have on homecoming. Hickman Battle obviously has turned into a pretty good rivalry ever since Battle opened. What do you like about this game? This is a rivalry.
It is. It's one of those natural rivalries, just the way how Battle was built and everything that happened back then. And, being a part of this staff all across the board, we kind of had to build some kind of rivalry. We always like crosstown rivalries. Always a big, obviously, Hickman Rockbridge, and they're making this into another one for a third or a second for most high schools. And so that's been phenomenal. We always know that we're going to get their best game. Whether it's been on when I was on staff the first 8 years or now, we know we're going to get the best game. Coach Alvis does a phenomenal job with their program. Him and I are great friends, college other brothers. So really, it's going to be a joy to face each other Friday night. But we know like this crowd will be great. Homecoming for both sides. It's going to be bitty rambunctious, and we like it that way. But we're going to get each team's best no matter what, and that's what makes football fun. Is make sure we compete all night long, and it's going to be a great environment for us.
Well, when you see kids like they have, you look at Carter Holiday and the season he's having, a guy like Brock Camp got a lot of size there. How do you plan for guys like that?
They're very dynamic what they do offensively, defensively. Tion Milo as well, and Roddy McNeil on the backside on defense too. They have some guys that can move and guys that can move fast, and they're like you said, physical in size up front with Bryce and with Carter. So it's really great to see them. We got to make sure that they get a little uncomfortable. We do some things that can kind of change, kind of what they're used to seeing, get them different looks for us, and make sure we're just understanding our assignments and our roles to give our guys the best shot. A lot of respect for what they do. They have some great players.
What's the message been to your locker room? Obviously, want to get that first win. How important do you feel like it is to get it, this week or soon?
I'd like to get that sooner rather than later. But for us, we've been close, and we look at the film and you walk through the film with these guys and you kind of show them some plays here and there, and they realize kind of how close we can be and how close we are. There's a lot of great athletes and great players in this locker room, a lot of great human beings, first off. But we starting to realize how close we are. The buy-in is there. We just got to get that first one. And we talk about it kind of once you get that first one, it kind of a snowball effect and you kind of can grow and grow. But focus on little details, being 1-0 on the week and making sure we can get that thing rolling. But once we get one, I like our chances to get more.
You kind of touched on it a little bit, but what's the biggest thing other than a win that you want to see this week?
48 minutes with our guys playing all 4 quarters, giving it their all, and making sure that by the end of the day, when we look out on the field, when we watch that film, we're proud of what we put out there. Film doesn't lie. We all say it as coaches, but we all know like once we put something on it, we sign off. That's our name, that's our signature on it, and what we see on film is kind of who they are. And so making sure by the end of the day, when we watch film next week, say, hey, I'm proud of the way that number played and that guy played for us. And we want to make sure we play battle football, play to our brand and kind of what we're about.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, Matt. Hope you have a good rest of the week. Looking forward to seeing you guys on Friday.
Thanks so much. We appreciate the coverage.
Yep, not a problem. See you soon.
Have a good one.
Yep.